Hello, boys and girls. This is Old Man Yells at Cloud for my Patreon Blue Powder Monkeys, working on the Norwescon souvenir book. Today might be a boring day. I know, I'm selling it. But we'll get to that in a second. Gotta verify, make sure stuff's happening. All right. Live now, it says. A long way to go. All right, save it to the right place. Open up the YouTubes. Oh, music. Oh no. As I mentioned before, I'm not a big headphones guy. Well, power on. I like good headphones, I guess. And these are pretty good. They're like Bose or anything, but they're like Sennheiser, so it's close. All right, I'm going to start my music, which once again, I am a creature of habit. So yesterday I was listening to Alone in the Universe, which is an ELO album. And today I will be listening to Alone in the Universe, which is an ELO album. And then later I'll switch it up. Yeah. Do a little singing along here occasionally. Once I was a boy. Anyway. Big ass phone in my pocket. All right, cool. All right, so this is what I was working on in the last video. Those of you who might have followed both. But there's been a slight time jump. I worked on it a little bit offline, I know. It's cheating a little bit. Not that this is a contest. Sometimes it's easier for me to think, obviously, when I'm not talking at the same time, like most of us. Anyway, so I was working on this logo last night. And I did this thing. Let me recreate it for you here. All right, so I'm doing this thing where I take compacta font, which is the vertical skinny letters, combine it with Sophia, which is my favorite sans serif font. It doesn't matter for this thing here, but I turned it into kind of light because I was gonna. Yeah, there we go. Because I was gonna expand it up like this, right? Crazy. Just wanna make me baby. I do like that it automatically pastes in place in Affinity, which Illustrator just puts it where the fuck it wants. All right. All right, so I did something like that initially, and this looked a little too. The idea was to allude to Norwescon has this logo that they've used for a lot of years, and one of the challenges with making sort of a clean, elegant logo for things like Norwescon especially is it represents several. It's a convention, like a you know quote unquote nerd convention, whatever. It's a science fiction fantasy convention, but science fiction and fantasy. So like comic book conventions are easier. You do like San Diego Comic Con and you've got this logo that just looks like a comic page with a dude's eye in it or whatever. And Emerald City does a comic book convention, and their logo is this little superhero flying away from the Space Needle in a little zoom that creates an E. So they can just take that little superhero figure with that swoop that looks like an E, and they can just kind of use that, right? One of the shorthands for Norwescon that I think works pretty well and is the using the O's basically to map, because it's sort of, you take out the middle, right, and you have this little palindrome of NOON kind of thing, that's probably a little too short to, I mean, you could use it as kind of like, you could do like an NON kind of thing with these O's for like a little tiny logo or something. I don't know. Anyway, so like the way that it is now, I think one of them is some kind of planet maybe, and the other one's like a gear. That to me is a little too much, maybe. I don't know about too much. Anyway, um, it for this, I think it would be too much for this style that I'm trying to do here. So the planet, that's, to be fair, more interesting to me. And Jupiter's an awesome planet and very recognizable. But, and here we finally get back to what happened between last night and tonight. Saturn is super recognizable, right? So, what are you doing, you stupid O? Oh, well. Is it not going to let me? Interesting. There we go. To actually hold down shift. That's kind of cool. All right. So I was trying to do something like this, right? Where I took the inner O and made like a ring out of it or whatever. Because Saturn's pretty recognizable. The issue is I'm using this program pretty new. So I would know how to do this in Adobe Illustrator. Both the hat. I don't think I need the hat, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Hat's too much. It's too much. Oh, so much better. Okay, so I would know how to do this in Illustrator. Oh, excuse me, and I know the terminology here, or I don't even know the terminology here actually. So Illustrator, I do now, but this my point as it's going along here. In Illustrator, you can turn these into outlines, and each outline has an anchor point where things meet, or not even where things meet, like here, 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 here. The anchor point, which sort of creates the object. Affinity has what's called nodes for some fucking reason. And so you just have to switch it to this node view, which you do in Illustrator. You go from they call this the move tool, but I think it's there's a select tool and a direct select tool in Illustrator. So anyway, so you come over here. Am I missing some weird little turn on thing here? No, it seems okay. Back again. Not sure why see, and this is the point. Like, I'm not even sure why the little nodes are not showing up. Why I can't manipulate them right now. I have no idea. Like that should create a node on this thing, but it's not for some reason. And chances are could be a mode that's up here, although I'm in vector and that supposedly does it. I'm the wrong thing here. No tool. Anyway, so that's that. I think that's just proving my point. Even when the controls that I think are supposed to be here, I just don't know, and I don't know how to problem solve this right now. I don't know whether or not I'm supposed to have because there are some bugs in the program, so I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to have the things that I think should be there, the little nodes. I don't know. So it's a huge fucking pain in the ass. So what happened is I did last night figure out how to, because what you want is this part of the ring in front and that part of the ring in back. Duh. So you want to cut here, cut here. Actually, that's about it. I was able to kind of figure that out last night and create not a perfect model of Saturn, but a kind of a decent one. But then comes the second part of that, and that was after I shut the thing off because it was like, I'd been streaming for an hour, and I'm like, I don't know, people want to watch me tediously like dick around with Saturn for an hour, another hour, or whatever. So I had sort of thrown that's in there, but as you can see, even with this jerky model here, like that, it's okay, but you know, it's going off into these other letters and it's creating an extra level of nonsense that it insists upon itself. It draws too much attention. You know, this was a pure science fiction convention or science, even better, science convention, then turning this into like an atom, you know, with the six ring thing, and that's it, and that's your logo. It's like, nah, that's kind of cool, right? But it doesn't work for this. So instead, this little Jupiter doodad, and I debated with the stripes. I let them come out to about here so that they were self-contained within the thing. That adds some flexibility for changing their color and not having it bleed into the color over here. Because right now these are set on they call it, it's an opacity, it's a filter kind of. And so if I was to click on that, right, that's soft light. So it normally would look like that. It's basically just white, but instead we're soft light. The thing is with soft light is it creates a type of a transparency. So if you do this, now where it overlaps, you get this little shape, right? And that's cool if you plan for it and want to do it. But these little stripes, you know, if you create like a little stripe here, dunk, and you put it over here as your planetoid doodad or whatever, excuse me, and then you get, now you got this weird thing going on. You got that with the weird little things. So having it not touch the sides, gives you a neat little option. And then you can even change up the opacity for this thing to make it some kind of different color or whatever. But also then as you start, even at this level, you kind of want this edge to match this curve right here. You want this to be kind of like that. So that involves creating another version of this and using it as a die, essentially a cutout, to cut this, which you can do. That's what these transform controls are up here. But it's a lot. So instead, what I ended up is I went ahead and extended it to here, but then I combined them. So I took all of this and used this function, and then boom, see, nothing. Which is originally, still doing everything right here. Comes to me. Okay, cool. Which is originally how this stuff got combined. So I combined the R with the O, and then the RO with the N, or vice versa, whatever. And then stripies, combine those. This might be loose. Yeah, it is loose, actually. So that can move around wherever. Anyway, but yeah, then I added, I'd already chosen the piece, talked about that, added the text. This went several different spots. It started over here. Then I realized I wanted to like subtly mirror the text to kind of reflect this thing. So, and honestly, like, I like doing this because I know people are interested in this process. Some of it feels a little bit like explaining a joke, though. And trying to explain a joke obviously makes things way less funnier than they are. Sometimes explaining the design process I feel might make something way less cool, or I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, when I saw this, I was like, all right, I need to do some like mirrored text on the side or whatever. And once I did that, this whole block sitting under here works okay. But then I kind of want this too. So if I was to do that and do this, pretend the illuminating isn't there, whatever. That's not horrible, actually. That would probably work okay. But then I don't know what to do with the illuminating either. So, it doesn't go down at the bottom because that's freaking dumb. It theoretically could do this. Okay, so let's try this. Let's group this. Control G. Control G. Flow. I'm messing around with this, but I can actually just kind of do that. I'm getting glare up here from this stupid light that I have, or this good light that I have. There we go. And it's all right. It's all right. It's not horrible. And it starts getting into the figure, which isn't great. I don't like dicking around. I mean, I like dicking around with artwork and all the rest of that, but the artwork's got to be the thing. See, and that has this weird shape this way that doesn't work. I kind of liked the inverted pyramid. The other thing that throws this off a little bit to me is kind of the color goes down and then you got this stripe of itchy nose. I swear I do not use cocaine. I get I've never been tested for allergies, but swear to God, especially as I got older, because I've had cats my whole life too, so it's possible that I've suddenly become allergic to cats. We have two of Q and Moneypenny. Anyway, so this shape is awesome. I don't like it coming down into her hair. So that's probably the deal breaker of it. And I don't want to shrink everything down because it is a front piece. It's not just like, I don't know. It's that weird balance. And if this is the same as this, size-wise, then there's no hierarchy. This just looks like another thing, right? And these are separate concepts, separate but related concepts. Okay, so through. I don't actually know if I'm in tune or not. Or done any sort of formal singing lessons. Though supposedly, not too bad. Just don't know how to sing, right? You don't know how to do the lung work and the painfully unaware of my range, though I'm assuming what's normal, about tenor for dudes. Like, I'm definitely not a bass. I don't think. Everybody wants to be a bass. Right? Okay, cool. I don't honestly like super love this either. But again, now we're sort of into the hair or the figure. And you don't do just like that, it's kind of dumb, or over here or something. All right. I think I messed around with this enough because there is time to do more design later. So we're going to move on to the table of contents. I'm going to check. Check my stream thing here. This supposedly, I don't think anybody's ever going to try to do like chatty stuff. Anyway, next time. All right. So now we do a table of contents because so this is set up symmetrically, I guess. I don't know. This is set up to work on either page. You kind of want it on the right hand side, but there's I think 100% chance there's going to be a big old ad right here on the inside front cover. And for the Worldcon program that I did, Tor, which is a big publishing company, they just lit it up. They bought I think like 4 pages. So they had the inside cover and this page and this page. And then the front piece that I did for them went here, which was crazy. And then the table of contents went down here and kind of spread. But you know, you can move pages around and shit, so it doesn't matter too much. So I'm I don't know, I think I might want to do page numbers now, honestly, which is going to be super quick. Probably. Let's find out. All right, so I built some master pages. Master pages are pages that you sort of apply to other pages so you don't have to keep reusing the graphics and all that. My music stopped, which means YouTube is fucking with me, sorry. Okay, I have it. All right, so that, you know, I'm not saying this is what I'm going to use. It's a little cray cray. But I can grab this and just be like, yoink. And then now, when I go down to page 2 and 3, it's like already set up for that. I don't have to like copy paste or do whatever. So anyway. All my life. And I think page numbers are usually down in the corners, which is cool. Here's a master tip for any budding designers out there. You'll see books or you'll see things that put the page numbers in the middle here. They, I guess, think it looks cool or whatever, and it's not great. Page numbers need to be useful, easy to access. That's why the corners are so because you kind of flip through those corners and find what page you want and all that. So if you're trying to be extra tricky and putting them on like the inside or the middle or whatever, it's like, it's not the best. What I'm wondering is if I want them on the side here. Yeah, I might actually. I'm going to delete these. Actually. Still around you. Must not be around you. All my life. I must have locked this. Yep. I found you. Don't wanna be around you. All my life. I mentioned this yesterday. Click, drag, copying is kind of fundamental behavior for these types of programs. You select and then alt or control or whatever each program uses. This is alt in this case. Makes a copy, right, as you drag. And then if you hold shift, it goes completely vertical down, which is another functionality. What I don't like about Affinity, because not everything is roses, is I have to let go of the Alt key to get my snapping back. And it's a weird little thing, but it's just a muscle memory thing. I didn't have to used to do that with InDesign, though. InDesign continues to get sort of unfunctional. Oh, that's too light. Something you should know. Ah, that's blue as blue can be. So let's do this. Boom, 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 boom. I always do that. I always have my pen right where it'll bang on the microphone. Like, donk. That's not horrible. For now. Talk to me. Ba, ba, ba. The other talk to me. One step at a time. Oh. All right, let's do this. There we go. There used to be a way to view without the. W. Yeah. Okay, cool. Usually down. Yeah. I haven't even set up a baseline grid yet, I realized. Ugh. Now. Alone in the universe, as the weak hills smile, come alone, walk long way to come home. I like this. I'm having a little trouble figuring out how it works with the other styles or the stuff I've already done, I guess. No matter how I try to roam, I always come home. I wonder if I still have. I was talking yesterday about how Illustrator has artboard space around it. Yeah, there it is. Actually, there's not really any reason not to just use this. Oh, good. I'm so happy you didn't select all of them like I wanted you to, so I can go back and do this again. That's awesome. This is the process. The process is experimentation. If you're a person that doesn't like trying all kinds of new stuff, or trying things over and over again. It's probably not a thing for you. Oh, that's the end of my ELO. I like that album. I think it's a more modern one. Let's see what they got here. Yeah, we'll try the ELO live at Wembley. Uh-oh. Oh. And this isn't going to work that well because I want everything spread out. Not sure if that's going to work. The spread out, actually. It's going to do the table of contents. The issue is table of contents is the first page to have page numbers on it, usually. I have to do that. What I just did there is turn the lettering in from fonts into objects. And that enables me to manipulate them on an individual basis and as pieces of art. Is that... I might have done a wrong thing here. Oh, yeah. I look at... Is there a shortcut up here for curves, I wonder? It doesn't matter. Control return. Control return. All right. Control. Enter. Yep. I caught a glimpse of it on the stream feed over there. It threw me off for a second. Ooh, that looks cool. Around the world, the longest heard. We have beauty all over the world. Oh, I like this. Yo, I don't really know. I don't remember. Vector, maybe? There we go. Ah! There's a way for me to transfer these tools to the different windows so I don't have to switch tabs or whatnot, but nope, that didn't work. Over the world. I've been real bad at my labeling and hierarchy stuff. What the heck is going on here? Yeah, cool. All right, let's get rid of that. Yep. I just heard. Two. Oh, that's cool. That was super cool. I didn't even have to select those things. It just went along and knew that I wanted to delete the next one. So, file prep and file management are super important. And I get lazy with it sometimes, but you shouldn't. So, what you're seeing me do now is basically take all these pieces that, fuck me. There we go. That I don't need for the actual design, but I keep in case I need to like back up to a certain point or whatever. Is it the same as this one? I think it is. So I think I'm just going to delete that one. Anyway, and you kind of, figure out how to manage your shit. Lock down stuff you aren't using, that kind of thing. all over the world. All over the world. Those of you that haven't listened to ELO are like, what is going on? Hmm. Um, okay, cool. Toot, toot. Make the best of the day. Magic. Chick. Ooh, tired. Everything. It's a terrible thing to do. So I just did a page number. So now we're going to go test it. Yeah, look at that. That is pretty cool. Yep. It's a little off center, especially when we get into double numbers. Higher and higher, baby. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to do. And thing. What is out there? Interesting. So all the stuff is here. Hmm. I never knew. Never knew. Oh. Oh, this is aggravating. About the things that we'd like to see. This pretty much means I have to copy and paste shit. Which sucks, but wait. My headphones keep doing weird little things. All right. Be crazy. Just wanna. Do you love me, baby? However, cut and paste is easy because it cuts and pastes it into the spot it was in before. Was no money. Boom, 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 boom. Ha ha ha. It definitely goes past that. Is this skinnier? No. Oh, it is going out to... No, everything's the same. To lay down. I kind of like the rust better than the lavender, especially with this painting right before it. To lay down. No way, this doesn't have the same margins. So I guess I didn't apply them. No, it's got the same ones. Why aren't they on here? To lay down. Okay, guess I just had to trigger it somehow. Myself, I guess. All right, all right. Let's get on with it. Okay, table of contents time. We're going to work on the right-hand side. I'm going to make it a right-hand side page. Because I am pretty sure there's going to be an ad or something right there, and that's fine. I don't mind an ad there. In fact, I'll make sure that there's an ad there. Make somebody happy. So the first thing that happens is we find a piece of art. We have an artist guest of honor. I went through this in the last video. I think it's Geneva, but it could be Geneva. So, haven't heard it pronounced, only seen it in print. And I'm quite confident she'll let me know when I meet her. So I look through to try to find a good piece of art. Appropriate piece of art. It's all pretty good. There was one that I liked originally, which I think I still will use. There's a cool one of this dude carrying this weird, like, fiery kind of energy spark lady through a field. But it has the same sort of underlying creepiness as this one does. Not the same. They're both a little darker, which is fine with me, 100%. Like, I definitely lean more dark to my fiction and my whatnot. But having them kind of like one after another, I don't think is going to work for everybody. Yeah, I think I'm just going to use this dude that I originally was going to use. Oh, shit. All right. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. All right. So I have a folder set up with the art, obviously, and I have high res and low res because I haven't grabbed a lot of high res stuff from her yet. There's no reason to do that until I know like what I'm using and all that. Oh no. Oop. Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah. Cool. She got her stuff set up on a way that you can't pull JPEGs and stuff off, which is smart. If you don't want your shit being used for things it shouldn't be used for. Is to do when it will be known. Somewhere along y'all, I thought. Oh, I know what it is. Yay. Okay. Xanadu. Xanadu. What is this called, I wonder? Dun, 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 dun. Xanadu. No title. All right. Go. All right. So I guess dude with book. Xanadu. Xanadu. Bum, 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 bum. I'm going to see if I can punch affinity files into other affinity files. Success! Oh, looks so good with the motion in this one. I did that on purpose, haha. I believe that there is a subconscious, like if someone is experienced, well trained, I guess, or any of that kind of stuff in whatever field that they're in, I believe that there is sort of a subconscious thing that happens. Like there's no way I consciously was thinking of this, right? But I've done this before. So something deep in my psyche. Ooh, ready. Ready and roll. Now's where things get fucking tricky. Ooh, ready. Up to now. I need to be able to access this shit. I'm not sure how. All right, let's look that up. Oh. Yeah. Layer. Yeah, there it is. Eventually, YouTube's like, "Are you still watching?" Are you still watching? It's like, of course I am. There. Edit detached. Yes. Okay. I shouldn't have had to go through all of that. But new program. Entering at the sound of my name. Can't get shit out of my head. Can't get it out of my head. Right. Can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head. Can't get it out of my head. Good. That's some Denver Broncos nonsense right there. Nobody wants that. Usually, yeah, there we go. Usually the colors when you're sampling like this work better when they're touching one of the other colors, right? So this feels better because these are the same. When I use this blue or this tealish, like that felt pretty okay too because there was other stuff in there. The orange obviously looks really good. All right, so yeah. All right, so now actual text. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 20 lines of shit. Minimum. Plus all the printy nonsense and all the rest of that. All right, so cover this dude up a little bit. Ah! Oof. Yeah. The weird little tones that my headphones were making were warning me that it was running out of power. Might as well shut down my music. There we go. I don't think I have. Do I? Nope. Those same headphones I just set down. Yeah, well, we'll go a little musicless for a minute. Da, 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 da. Now, if I was super smart, I could have made this text block. Well, I guess it kind of depends. I would have made the text block and then darkened, colored the block itself, as opposed to the throwing a text block over the top of it or whatever. All right, so now I need to start actually dicking around with styles and whatnot. It's too much. All right, yeah. Okay, good. Is me trying to figure out how to get my baseline grids to show up, which is kind of like the lines on notebook paper. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's that for some reason. All right. Wow. Dang it. All right, so now let's see if I figure out how to use tabs. Nope. Why does that? All right, let's find out. Paragraph panel A. Okay. Spacing A. Space after. There it is. Okay. Oh my God. Ah, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that is one of the things I don't like about this program. The type tools are definitely harder. Okay, so that's heading 1. Yeah, why is it affecting the one up above? There's no fucking reason for it to do that. Shouldn't do it. Yeah. Why are those two things separated right there? I have to use a fucking full on. Do that. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so somewhere in body white style is a way for me to end this fucking bullshit. So let's find out. There's medium, typography, okay, slashes, paragraph. There we go. Okay, alignment. Left, cool. Letting. Exactly. 14, right? 14. Now, when I do this, go fuck yourself. All right. So now we do this. Stop spacing. Okay. Oh my God, what a pain in the ass. Are you italic? What the fuck? That is not the fucking. Oh, what's going on? Mm, mm. It's not bold either. Huh? My goodness. Why would it do this? So, Ursula, Geneva, Summer, Orbit, and Dutch. This most likely will be a dude as opposed to the publisher. But for now, we'll have to do excuse me again. Now, that is a very interesting use of my grid because they all kind of fit. The first section kind of fit there. And now I have a decision to make. Oh, that's right. So let's do this. That also tells me that I planned my grid out fairly decently. Let's do that. Oh, if I do this. Long, long way to go. Nope. Oh, yeah, okay. This is all. Yeah, okay. This is all master page right here. So, yeah. Great. Mm. And we need a block of nonsense, copyright stuff and whatnot. Oh, we're getting close to 3. Be time to shut this down. I'm gonna keep working a little bit after it, but I don't necessarily need 24-hour coverage. I mean, if somebody wants that, let me know. I don't think it costs me anything to do the thing or whatever, but just time. All right, so does all that fit there and all that fits there? Or does all, I think it all fits here. So let's see if I made this somewhat usable. Let's grab a text block. All right, so we're starting with that, but we don't need titles for this one. Oh yeah, at some point I'm gonna have to set up what tools that I want for all. Oh, there we go. So I want that. There we go.
What year is it? This is undoubtedly going to change. This information. Uh, All right, I think that is going to do it for today, boys and girls. Um, I'll probably do a little bit more work. I'm going to have to do a little bit more work because, deadlines and whatnot. So the next video I'll post again tomorrow, show you whatever progress I made in between sessions and continue on from there. So for those of you that have been sticking around, hope you're having fun, and we'll talk to you soon.